Hello, my beautiful children. It has been a while since you have stepped foot into our private collection. And today we'll be reviewing one of my most recent additions into my private collection. What's going on, guys? It's Boaz here, and this is a gun that I have been wanting, I've been lusting, coveting after for a very long time, and I finally, in this past year, have been able to get my grubby hands on one. I believe that when this first came out, I started to kind of store and put away my shekels, my pennies, to get one of these bad boys, and then I ended up getting a Tokyo Marui MWS, so I was kind of back at square one. And then when I finally had the money to pick one of these bad boys up, they were out of stock. As you guys might know, I am a huge KWA fanboy, and I know there's a lot of different opinions out there on KWA as a brand, but for me personally, my own experience in Airsoft, KWA has always done me right, and I think they always come out with some really cool looking guns, and they are, to me, they're just such a regularly reliable brand, and that's sort of why I really liked this QRF MOD1 here. Now, why did I specifically choose the QRF MOD1? Well, because in our previous video, I stated that I really wanted an Elite Force MP5. One of the big hang-ups, or the major hang-ups I've had about getting an MP5 is that, number one, you know, I've been playing with Airsoft M4s for a very, very long time, and I'm very used to the controls of a standard AR or a standard M4. And the MP5, you know, because it's an older design language, because it is an older like replica or model based on an older firearm, the controls are going to be different, the ergonomics are going to be different. I just really wanted the gas blowback MP5. I don't know why we don't have it here in the States. VFC, what's going on? Give us a guess.
It's the ATF.
Oh, the ATF. Oh, thank you, ATF. Of course, ruining everyone's day and everyone's fun, so thanks for that. Another big upside to the QRF MOD1 is that it comes already with PTS furniture. It comes with the PTS backup iron sights, PTS pistol grip, and one of my favorites, it's not made by PTS, but KWA specifically, I think they really did their homework and they created a really good sized PDW stock, especially with the stock pad. It kind of vaguely echoes the MP5A5 collapsible stock. You can actually fit an 11-1 stick LiPo without any issues, which again, not every manufacturer was able to do that with their PDW stock. But one of the first things you've noticed on my personal QRF MOD1 is the rail system. Now, I did not change it out. It's actually a stock rail system, but you might realize it looks a bit different than the completely stock Ronin rail. I handed this over to our head tech Taylor, and I asked him to do a little chop action, a little choppy chop action. So that's why you notice this rail system doesn't have any underhangs, because he literally took a hacksaw and just hacked it off. And so by doing that, it allows a lot more clearance and a lot more room to basically attach different airsoft muzzle devices. And specifically for me here, I've attached the FurFrance CRD2 tracer unit with the simulated muzzle flash. Now, for me personally, I'm not a huge tracer fanboy. However, because of this gun and the way it shoots, I just would picture myself running this indoors most of the time. And with most indoor players, they do need tracer units. I was very skeptical at first, but when I first started to use, especially the FurFrance CRD2, and I realized how much of a difference it made when running tracer units in indoors, I immediately kind of fell in love, so to speak. Now, the CRD2 tracer unit is really cool because it does have the simulated muzzle flash, where it'll actually flash like an orange kind of light every time you fire a BB. And I just think it just looks so cool. And especially the way the CRD2 looks on this gun, I just think it's a perfect fit. I just love how chonky, love how girthy it is. And the nice little cool like ported vent holes on the front of it, and you know, the little like slots on the front where like the muzzle brake or the muzzle device would be in real life. I just think FurFrance did a really good job designing this for the airsoft community. I think it looks absolutely sick. Moving down towards the main body of the rail system, I have the Magpul M-LOK rail covers. I believe this is more sort of like the evolution of their older XTM style rail covers, which I also really loved, by the way, in the past. But I just really specifically love the texturing that they do with these rail covers. They're very thin and low profile, so it won't really add bulk to your rail system, and at the same time it provides a lot of good texturing. It's almost almost like a grip tape type of feel to it, or a skateboard tape type of feel to it. Very aggressive, and it gives you a very positive feel when you hold on to the rail section with your support hand. And moving down towards the bottom of the rail section, I have BCM, I believe it's a Gunfighter foregrip mod, might have been mod 2, mod 3, whatever it is. It's the direct to M-lock version. And as you can see, it is shorter. It just took an angle grinder to it and just chopped it off. Mainly because, you know, it is kind of a shorter, stubbier gun, so having an extra stubbier grip just kind of helps kind of turn it more into, like, I guess, like a hand stop. I didn't want to go with a full-on hand stop, number one, because the M-lock space they give you down here is actually not that much, and so a lot of hand stops will not fit onto this rail system as it is. The BCM grip did, fortunately, though, and so it's kind of halfway in between like a hand stop and an actual vertical grip, and it allows me to get a better grip on the gun, especially with such a short barrel and a short reel system like this. Now on the top over here, another really big denoting feature of my QRF is my Enforce WML light that I bought from Enforce directly. It is probably one of the more expensive pieces on my gun, just because it is like a real gun flashlight. I didn't really want to run any pressure pads or anything crazy along the top, because again, not a lot of space up here on the top. And I just love how it just has this nice slanted integrated button. I believe back in like, what, 2013, 2014, maybe 2015, that's sort of around the time when Enforce got a lot of clout on the internet, on Instagram, with their new ergonomic design of their weapon light. Not very cheap, but I definitely think you get what you pay for. I'm definitely starting to move towards getting like real gun flashlights on airsoft guns, just because I've used, you know, replica flashlights or, you know, clone flashlights for a very long time in airsoft, and not gonna lie, I'm a little bit underwhelmed at how they perform sometimes, and I just think that having a really bright light in a CQB environment is very important. You kind of get that deer in the headlights moment just for a brief second, and you know, that little brief second will allow you to tag your enemies out. So that's sort of why I went with it. And I think honestly it just looks so cool, you know, like it reminds me of sort of like the MP5 Navy editions back in the day, you know, the Navy models where they had like the flashlight underneath. But you know, now that it has evolved and like a newer version, now you put the light on the top. Moving over to the top, I have a very interesting looking optic, yet another big denoting feature of my gun. Obviously, I honestly think the way to go would have been like a T1 style, you know, micro red dot, or maybe even an Airsoft holographic sight. But I have plenty of those. I have tons of those already in my Airsoft collection, and I wanted to change it up even more. So this is actually the replica optic of a Korean company out there. I believe the real company makes, I believe they make red dot sights and stuff for like miniguns and the 50 caliber M2 machine guns and stuff like that. But they also make small arms and rifle optics. I believe, yeah, there's a replica off of a South Korean company called DI Optical, and this is their FC1 model, which is like their compact red dot. I just think it looks super cool just because it's just like this rectangle that just sits on top of your gun, you know? I just think it looks slightly futuristic. I wanted to kind of have it clear this weapon light because, you know, I'm mounting a light to the top. So I did put a UTG, I think it's like a mid-height riser or something like that, or a low-profile riser. So it's basically sitting on top of a riser. Technically, it's two risers. This optic does include an extra spacer riser. So it's like a riser on another riser. I don't know, but it helps. It helps because, number one, it clears the flashlight so you don't see this big honking pressure pad when you aim down your sights. And also, it kind of helps with the modern shooting stance, where instead of you moving your head to find the optic with like a huge crushing cheek weld, right, you keep your head more or less at a natural position and you bring the gun up to your head, so it gives you better peripheral vision. Again, the unifying factor here, it just looks cool.
Tell me you want a Unity riser without telling me you want a Unity riser.
Honestly, if this was compatible with the Unity riser, you bet I would have put this on the Unity riser. It would have looked sick. The PTS rear sight here, but no front sight. Honestly, I don't know what happened to the front sight. I've been looking for it. I think I lost it. Whoops. But you know, the flashlight is where the iron sight with front sight would be, and you know that had to go. And the rear sight, honestly, I should remove it because it's just like this super useless rear sight that doesn't do anything. I just kept it on there because it just takes up real space and it looks cool. I guess. I don't know. But hey, this gun is primarily for indoors, and close range engagements, if I do play outdoors, I don't really ever see the need for iron sights. And even if I did need iron sights, I mean, I have a tracer unit that shoots laser beams, so I can see where it's going. I mean,
BOAZ, unironically, you turned your gun into a speed soft gun.
Cisco, I'll tell you this: if I ever turn into a speed softer, you have my full permission to take me out of my misery. Subscribe. What? You thought I was going to use this gun? You thought I was going to use mine to threaten you? No, I'm going to use a clone that our head tech Taylor built of my gun to threaten you. So subscribe, okay? Why aren't you subscribed? Why is it that the majority of our viewers are not subscribed? Okay, all it is a little click of the red button down below. Okay, make sure to like the video as well because it helps the algorithm. As you may know, YouTube does not like Airsoft. Okay, they're doing everything that they can in their power to suppress our content. Why? I don't know. They just don't like it. They hate us because they hate us. I don't know. All right, but anyway, another side note. Okay, if you really like my overall build, like I said, our head tech Taylor created a parody. A perverted clone of the original, okay? He did the same choppy chop of the rail. He did put the same tracer unit, different flashlight though, and different optic, because I don't know. He just wanted to make fun of me. I don't know, okay? But you'll still get both the iron sights. You won't lose an iron sight like I did, okay? And it's on our website. It's live right now. And if you guys would like to rock something similar to what I do, if you guys agree with my design language, then it's there for you. So go check it out. We also have like 100 other custom guns that we have been pumping out for the past couple months. So go support Airsoft GI, okay? If you want us to continue making content for you, all right, you gotta support us directly, okay? You gotta help us pay the bills. See these lights up here? You think they're cheap? They're not cheap lights. They're expensive ass lights. Takes a ton of electricity to turn them on. Okay, so support us, go to Airsoft GI, subscribe, all right? Let's get back to the video. What have I done to this gun internally? Because obviously we know that I'm a huge gun builder.
That hurt my soul.
It's completely stock, 100% stock. I did not touch anything on this gun at all. I didn't even rewire the gun because it's already wired to Dean's out of the box. Why did I leave it stock? Because KWA performs the best when it's stock. And I think a lot of the times people try to upgrade their gun to make it better, especially on a top tier brand like KWA. They think they have the hubris, they have the arrogance to think that they could tinker around with it and make it better than it originally was. Well, oftentimes they don't. You make it worse. Right? Everything is mated and married and designed specifically to work around itself. All right, it's perfect the way it is, and it performs perfectly the way I wanted to. Now, I could potentially, right, put in a Gate Titan or an Aster or a Warfare. I don't know, some kind of MOSFET in here. I personally don't ever see the need to, because I don't try to overshoot people. I just try to put maybe 1 or 2 shots into people before I, move on to the next player if I'm shooting at somebody. Yeah, so I just don't ever feel the need to feather the trigger or have a super high rate of fire or have a super crazy trigger response because I'm responsible. I'm a courteous airsoft player. I like to be nice to people.
BOAZ, you have some hubris on your jacket.
Oh, I do? Oh, let me get rid of that real quick. There's a reason why I choose KWA is because I don't need to upgrade it. Until I shoot it so much to a point where the parts wear out, generally I don't ever feel the need to upgrade it. So my plan for this gun is just to run it at stock for as long as possible. And then if I, again, run into the issue with all airsoft guns is when you put so many BBs through it that all the parts start to wear out, then maybe I'll consider swapping parts out and handing it over to my good friend Taylor. He hates me. I purchased the QRF back in July of this year, and it kind of sat around the marketing office at Airsoft GI for a bit and at my house for a bit because I was saving up money to buy all the accessories and try to figure out what I wanted to do for the overall build of the gun. The last part that arrived, I believe it was the optic because it came directly from overseas, which took a very long time. I believe all the accessories up here said and done probably was finished at around October. So it probably took about 4 to 5 months to completely build this gun out. I believe that this was done very quickly just because I didn't do any internal work to it. Honestly, the only thing that took a long time, other than waiting for the Optic, was to finally have our head tech Taylor do the little choppy chop on the gun. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, it's very cut and dry, very simple build, and I bought this gun specifically so that I could build it up quickly and take it out to play with me. I do enjoy playing CQB actually. I do enjoy playing indoors, and for some weird reason, I just have this weird compulsion, this weird like desire to want to go run SMGs and like short range guns in outdoor fields. I don't know what it is. I have fielded it quite a few times myself, and again, very happy with the performance, the way KWA intended it to perform, and I just think the accessories just really help out my playstyle. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Thank you all for once again visiting me at my private collection. And if you do enjoy the privacy of our own collection, please make sure to subscribe, as well as to hit the like button down below. And if you would like to see more into our private collections, make sure to support Airsoft GI directly so we can create more of this private content for you. This is BOAZ with Airsoft GI, and I'll see you on our next edition of Private